Okay, let's be honest. Moving is, well, it's incredibly stressful, right? You're packing boxes, losing the packing tape every 5 minutes, trying to coordinate trucks, and right in the middle of all that chaos, you suddenly realize you need to get the power turned on. Setting up utilities can often feel like this massive headache, full of hidden fees, endless hold music, and confusing policies. But it absolutely doesn't have to be.
But today, we're going to master this whole process. By knowing the exact right steps to take, you can easily avoid the common pitfalls, completely dodge the service delays, and get the lights on fast. Whether you're an experienced homeowner or a first-time renter, having a foolproof strategy is going to save you time, money, and a whole lot of frustration.
Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here with us. Today, our goal is to completely demystify the process of starting your electric service with one of the largest utility providers in the United States, Duke Energy. We've gathered all the essential information, sourced directly from regulatory frameworks, customer experiences, and official guidelines to give you the ultimate evergreen resource. Here is our roadmap for today. First, welcome to Duke Energy. Then, steps to start service, navigating the security deposit, avoiding service delays, smart budgeting and rates, and finally, a quick summary and final disclaimer.
All right, part 1, welcome to Duke Energy, Scope and Scale.
So just to give you an idea of the sheer size here, Duke Energy serves around 8.7 million customers. That's a massive footprint covering 6 states: North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. Meaning, whether you're heading down to a sunny beach town in Florida or relocating up to Ohio, this guide is absolutely essential for you. The core onboarding steps we're talking about today, they apply across this entire network. Moving right along to part 2, steps to start service, crossing the threshold. Okay, let's dive into this. The actual process is actually super straightforward. It's really just a simple 4-step sequence. Step 1, gather your info. Step 2, contact Duke, either online through their portal or over the phone. Step 3, pass a quick credit check and identity verification. And finally, Step 4, set your requested start date. Boom. It really is that simple when you know what to expect. So what exactly do you need to gather up? Well, you'll need your full name, date of birth, and your complete new address, obviously, plus a social security number for that credit check. Now, here's a really fantastic tip we found specifically for international students or folks who don't have an SSN. You can actually use your passport. Yeah, you just call the main line, and when the automated robot asks for your social security number, just wait on the line. Don't hang up. The system will eventually transfer you to a real human who can use your passport number instead. Just make sure to give them at least 3 business days notice before you want the power on. If you're planning to call them, go ahead and grab a screenshot of these numbers right now. Since Duke Energy is so huge, they've got dedicated residential support lines for different regions. Trust me, having the exact right, actionable contact number for your state, whether that's the Carolinas, the Ohio and Kentucky region, Indiana, or Florida, is going to save you from getting endlessly bounced around to automated menus. Nobody wants that.
Part 3, navigating the security deposit, overcoming the first trial.
If you look online, you'll see a lot of frustration about this part. Take this Reddit user, for example, who said, "I am moving to Durham next week. I am being told there is a $200 deposit for all new customers." And honestly, that is a super common concern. Moving costs an arm and a leg as it is, and getting hit with a surprise upfront fee? Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating.
And that $200 mark, you're going to see that number pop up a lot. Utilities basically assess these deposits based on a new customer's credit rating or an existing customer's payment history. The reason this policy exists is that the utility is giving you power before you actually pay for it. So the deposit is kind of like a safety net. It protects the whole electrical grid and, honestly, all the other consumers from having to eat the costs of unpaid bills.
But here's how you can expertly navigate this system. First off, you can avoid the deposit entirely if you've got a good credit rating or a loyal, on-time payment history with them. If you do have to pay it, don't worry, it's not gone forever. You can actually get that refunded after a 12-month record of consecutive on-time payments. For the international students out there, you should expect an initial deposit somewhere between $100 and $250. And just as a general rule of thumb, the maximum automatic deposit they can ask for is up to twice your average monthly bill.
All right, part 4, avoiding service delays, site readiness.
Listen, logistical delays are a very real thing. If you try to request an activation on a Sunday or a major holiday, your start date is just going to get bumped to the next business day. Also, if a field tech shows up and realizes your meter needs repairs or even a total replacement, that adds another 1 to 3 days of waiting. On top of that, if there are any unresolved safety issues or missing municipal inspections at the property, the utility literally cannot legally turn the power on. So the big takeaway here? Always apply well before a long holiday weekend so you have a solid buffer built in.
This is especially critical if you're moving into a brand new build, doing some major renovations, or moving into an elevated house. Duke Energy has some very strict physical safety requirements. Before their crews are even authorized to mount the meters and turn things on, the site absolutely must have permanent stairs installed, plus a stable, clear platform or landing at the meter that's at least 3 feet by 5 feet. Safety always comes first for these crews, so make sure your builder has this 100% finished.
Moving on to part 5, smart budgeting and rates, the reward. So, Duke Energy offers a few flexible price options, and understanding them is a real game changer for your wallet. The two big choices are usually standard rates versus time-of-use rates. A standard rate is just what it sounds like, a relatively flat fee no matter what time of day you use your power. But a time-of-use rate? That charges you less for electricity during off-peak times, like nights and weekends, when the overall demand on the grid is way lower. This means if you just shift your heavy appliance use, say, running the dishwasher before bed or doing all your laundry on Saturday, you can literally see big savings.
Now, what's genuinely fascinating is looking at how your money is actually spent. When we look at a typical residential bill breakdown from the North Carolina Utilities Commission, check this out. 19% is just a basic customer charge for being hooked up to the grid. Another 31% goes to fixed production costs, and 21% goes to transmission and distribution. So only about 29% of this whole bill is the actual fuel and variable operations cost. Basically, a massive chunk of your bill is just paying to maintain the physical infrastructure, which makes optimizing when and how you use that remaining variable 29% absolutely crucial.
And the good news is, Duke offers some great tools to help you optimize that usage. For starters, set up those monthly usage alerts on the Duke Energy app. It lets you track your consumption mid-cycle way before the actual bill shows up and surprises you. You should also definitely look into claiming their available rebates for installing things like smart thermostats or LED lighting. Finally, if you meet the income qualifications, make sure to apply for the Customer Assistance Program, or CAP. If you're eligible, that can give you a flat monthly credit of up to $42 for 12 billing cycles. It's totally worth checking out. And finally, part 6, summary and final disclaimer, your next steps. Let's quickly recap our foolproof sequence to make sure you're totally ready. Number 1, gather your documents and call your specific local number at least 3 days in advance. Number 2, leverage your good credit or payment history to try and waive those deposits. And remember, they are fully refundable after a year of good payments anyway. Number 3, double-check that your physical site is safe and accessible for the field techs. And number 4, proactively pick a smart rate plan, like time of use, to keep those future monthly costs as low as possible. Now, before we wrap up, I do need to give a quick but very necessary disclaimer. Utility regulations, policies, and tariffs, they are incredibly complex and they are always subject to change by state regulators. So please, always verify current procedures, exact fees, and contact details directly with Duke Energy's official resources to make sure you have the absolute most up-to-date info for your specific address.
All right. Now that you are fully equipped to get the power flowing smoothly and affordably, I want to leave you with one final thought. Knowing that such a huge chunk of your bill is fixed and the rest is entirely in your control, what small change will you make today to optimize your energy bill tomorrow? Maybe it's finally doing all the laundry on Sundays, or maybe it's just taking 5 minutes to set up an app alert. The power, quite literally, is in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy moving.